Hey guys, Huzzy here bringing you another video. Welcome to another Q&A. I haven't done one of these in a couple of weeks, I believe. And I enjoy doing them. They're interesting, they're fun. It's interaction with you guys, and I like doing that. I don't like to be a YouTuber that kind of ignores that I actually have an audience. I like to know that you guys exist and there is, somewhat of a two-way kind of conversation. Obviously a bit more of a conversation on my stream than the YouTube, but nonetheless, I like doing these videos. That's why I do them. So we'll get through a bunch of questions today. We've got the Discord server, we've got Twitter, and we've got the YouTube community tab, where YouTube members, their questions, if they have left some, do get prioritized in answering, as long as, they ask the question by the time I actually do the Q&A. So the first one is a little, and by the way, excuse the wet hair. Obviously, there'll probably be League of Legends footage in on the background, and maybe later the actual camera will go full screen when the League of Legends game is done. But the first question is a bit of a deep one, is do I feel like sometimes at least I have to force myself to play League of Legends? The answer is definitely yes, but this shouldn't be a surprise to anybody. So it's a bit of a weird answer because League of Legends is technically my job. So in essence, you're asking me, are you forced to do your job? So if you're watching this right now, wherever you work at a store, you work at an office, do you force yourself to go to the store to work? Do you, it's basically the equivalent. And I know everybody is like, oh, that would be a dream job. You're playing a league for a living. It's great, and obviously I'm not going to deny that at all, but League isn't a game to me anymore. It's really not. It's my job. It's what I, kind of clock in to do every day. Even if I'm not streaming, I'm still making content, or if I'm going away on a trip, I've got to bulk record, so there's YouTube videos while I'm gone. It's my job, so it's the different mentality. So when I'm making Call of Duty content, for example, that feels like a game to me, right? I actually said earlier on stream, I was playing Call of Duty. We had, I don't know, about 450 people watch me today playing League on stream. I did a really big recording session today. It went really well. I was happy with it. But then I played some COD. Obviously, the viewer number dropped. And I said to the people who remained, which is about 250 people, I was like, when I'm playing COD, I don't really expect much. I'm not expecting people to subscribe on Twitch or do gifted subs or bits, because now this isn't my job. I'm now just playing a game. League is the job. So do I force myself to play League? Yes, but I still enjoy it. And I think that's very important. I'm sure you guys can see that, yes, I do get frustrated, like we all do as League players, but there are the odd episode, and there's actually been quite a few recently, that you can probably genuinely tell I'm having a lot of fun. I still have a lot of fun within the game. There are things that I want more. I really wish, in a way, my Flex with Friends, that group that we've done content with, I wish that those guys played League a bit more. That we could organize things a bit easier, but life gets in the way. We're not 16-year-olds anymore that don't have jobs. We're now late 20-year-olds with jobs, and some of the group even have kids, so it's a lot harder to organize. But I think that would be fun to do more of, clash mode and stuff like that. That's what I want to do more, but I still really do like League. So yes, I do force myself to play, but I still like the game a lot. Next one is, do I think that I'm going to get back to Master this season? Two ways to answer that. Do I think I can? Do I think I will? Do I think I can? Yes. I do think I can. I did it last season, and I did it last season because I really try hard for it. Quite hard. I wanted it. I was hungry for it. I was a bit frustrated about it all. And, yeah, I really want, obviously, to be at the higher tiers of the game. But this season has been rough. It genuinely has been. So, do I think I can? Yeah. Do I think I will? Maybe. It's not a definite, to be honest. If I could, all I say is I think this season where I've peaked, did I get Diamond 1? Maybe at least high Diamond 2 this season. If I could get back to Diamond 1, that to me is very good. Diamond 2 to me is respectable, at least Diamond 2, but we were there obviously recently. But yeah, Master is what I would like, but we'll see. I've been very frustrated with this year of League. We're still maintaining a positive attitude. We're still having fun. Ranked has been rough. It really has been. So we'll see. I have spoken to many writers, you know, in the background and stuff here or there, and I'm confident that they will be making good changes for Season 11. So with the changes hopefully upcoming, I'm hoping it will be the better ranked season next year that would actually be worth putting kind of blood into, if that makes sense. Actually, like putting everything into and getting rewarded for that. Because at the moment, Season 10, it feels like you can put all of your effort into and everything. It just doesn't really matter sometimes because there's a lot of inters, a lot of rage quits, and it's like, this kind of sucks. And obviously, I'm not a permanent duo queue player. That has become the meta for climbing. It just has been. If you want to consistently climb, you duo queue. I still don't do that, obviously, often. Definitely not on the main account. But who knows? Maybe. Next thing is excluding stealth / invisibility. If I could remove or / rework one mechanic in League, which would it be? I do say it's funny that you are including the excluding stealth or invisibility, because yeah, I would if I could choose any, I would most likely get rid of stealth. It never really feels like you've been skilled on by somebody that is stealthing. Again, you may have a different opinion. That's completely fine. But I personally don't. Like, if an Evelyn runs up to me, one-shots me, and I couldn't see her coming, I'm never going to feel like, oh, damn, I got out-skilled on, because you didn't. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. But if other than stealth and invis, I don't know, really. Like, other than that, I don't think there's much, like, wrong in that aspect. I think things need to get toned down. I think healing is obviously the thing. So, yeah, what mechanic in League would I rework? Healing. Healing is the thing that I would rework. So, there you go. Next up is... what happened to the comedy League YouTubers? Kiori, Gorski. I don't know who Gorski is, but I know Kiori. I think a lot of them just fell out with League. So, like, comedy League players weren't as, like, embedded into the game. You know, they played the game, but, like, they weren't having to play the game and be higher ranked because that's what their audience thought they should be. They could get bored. They could move on. Like, I guess another one, Magikarp Views Fly. Yeah, because they're more comedy-based than League-based, really. They had their start from League, but people stayed for their funniness and jokes and everything. They could transcend other games other than League because people went for them. Content creators have done it, obviously. Arguably, well, there's a bunch of famous ones, you know. Hell, if you even talk about Ninja, you know, he wasn't always the Fortnite guy. He was a content creator before that. Content creators do move around. Obviously, I've been League of Legends since I've been a content creator. But obviously now, even especially on my stream, I am getting into a bit of variety. But I think that is it. Comedy especially, they're not as linked to the game. So when like we all have been experiencing League has felt a bit rough for the past couple of years, well, because they're not a hardcore rank player, they're the type of people that just aren't going to play the game. I'm sure some of you are also in that group of players that just don't play League anymore. It's the same with that. So I think that's pretty much it. But yeah, so that's probably why. Like I would say the biggest YouTuber that I miss within the League scene, probably Spazzy. Him and his friend group I actually think were very funny. It was really nice, chill content. And yeah, it was really nice. So I'd say I personally miss that the most. Obviously, I've never really watched a lot of League content. But yeah, Spazzy, I met him. He was really friendly and really nice. So I'd probably say him. And excuse me, I need a drink. Okay, so next up is... what do I think about the Mythic items? Yeah, I did a whole video about it. So if you want to go back the other day, I did do a video about like the new item and everything like that. I'm worried about Mythic items. So the best way that I can summarize my feeling about Mythic items is it seems that Mythic items are there to make your main weakness as a champion not as weak. So in essence, every single champion in the game may have no weakness or no main weakness. That makes me worried. So like immobile AD carries can have a dash. There's probably going to be a Mythic item for like tanks or juggernauts that reduce slows so they can get to a target quicker. It seems that it's the trend of it is to get rid of the weakness that a champion has, and that makes me incredibly worried. I think it's unhealthy for that to be like to me Like, for example, a Jinx or an Ashe AD carry, best example I can really give, they are designed to not have a dash. They do high DPS because they don't have a dash, they don't have mobility. But now an item's giving them mobility. Like, to me, that kind of goes against their champion design. So I'm worried about it, to be honest, but we'll see how it goes. How should Riot deal with healing? I mean, they just need to either reduce actual healing, make healing do less, or increase the effectiveness of grievous wounds. Personally, I feel 40% for anti-healing, when the healing is it heals a lot at the moment, isn't enough. Literally, you could have an AD carry with lifesteal out-heal somebody who's doing damage to them, and they have grievous wounds on the AD carry, and it just doesn't matter. I think the easiest way of it is you just either do a percentage buff to grievous wounds, so instead of 40%, maybe it goes to 60%, and I've even thought, so maybe 60% for the actual grievous wounds completed item, maybe 40% for the component item, so Bramble Vest, Oblivion Orb, and the Blade, whatever it is, Executioners, I think, have a 40% healing reduction. When you upgrade that to the full item, so Morellonomicon, Thornmail, and is it Lord Dominic's, or whichever one it is, then it goes to 60% healing reduction. Then, my other thing, because, if you're building anti-healing, you're buying it on purpose. If a target is infected by grievous wounds from two different targets, so let's say one is a tank with Thornmail and one's a mage with Morellonomicon, both attacking and affecting that target with grievous wounds, maybe the anti-healing should go to 80%. So it will be 60% from one of the target with the completed item, and 80% if they're getting affected by two different sources of grievous wounds from two different champions. That's my idea. Some people may see that as overkill, but you shouldn't have to buy anti-healing every single league game, but that has become the thing because healing is out of control. So if they got healing under control more, maybe it wouldn't be needed as much. But if they're leaving healing as it is, honestly, I think that's a pretty good fix for it, personally. So, yeah. Next one is, do I prefer Warzone over League at the moment? If so, why? Why not? It's hard to compare. As I said earlier, League is my job. Warzone is a game that I play. Warzone has no pressure. So I stream Warzone. I upload content to my second channel occasionally, and people see that I'm having a lot of fun. It's also a main game that I play in my spare time with friends and stuff like that. So it's the game that I play the most, other than League, which is my job. So I don't know. I'd say League is a game that I have more fun with at peaks. And that's, I think, probably true for a lot of people. League is the pinnacle of having fun in video games, but it also can make you feel pretty low. It has those up and down moments. Warzone for me is a constant kind of positive at the moment, but again, it's not my job. It's the equivalent, and if I swap to being a Warzone creator, it would probably become a little bit more stressful because then I have to perform, I have to do well, but I don't. Like, I do well pretty normally playing Warzone, but I don't have that pressure of, oh god, people are here watching me as a Warzone creator because they want to see how good I am, and if I don't perform, then they'll leave and not watch. I don't have that pressure with Warzone, so it's enjoyable because it's just a video game. But I, again, still love League, and it's just hard to compare the two perfectly. Would I consider playing Rainbow Six Siege on stream? Yeah, but most likely no. I'd consider it, but with how good I'm in, like how well I'm enjoying Warzone, that's the main FPS game that I want to play. Again, people have said, where has Valorant gone? I was streaming a lot of that when it was in beta. Again, I prefer Warzone, and it's the game that I have my friends, my real life friend group, that obviously I've been seeing less this year. We, every week, have a Warzone evening. So there's that link to Warzone as well. So, yeah, I maybe, but I like Siege. I've played it, but yeah. Next up is... do I think it would help the League community to self-reflect more? Oh, of course. Yes, of course. The League community is online community, really. It's very easy to say things that are harmful, hurtful, etc. But when those comments are made at you, it's a completely different story. That's the internet, that's the thing. And the League community, what I would say, and it's not just League, it's video games in general, is the expectation of teammates to perform is too high. especially in normal ranks. Like, I see really weird play in Diamond, and that's the top. In my rating, I'm in the top 0.5% of the game. People will still call that a trash rating, weirdly, even though it's in the top 0.5% of the game. But then it's if I see weird play in Diamond, then a guy in Silver is expecting his teammate to play perfectly, and it's like, he's not going to. Most of the community gets so annoyed when their average teammate may do something slightly wrong, and I think there is a little bit of a problem with that. Like, expectations just, I think, are a bit too high. And also, even though this may even go to me, I give the balance team at Riot, like all of us do, a bit of a hard time. Some, I would say, is rightful, because, like, how is Kassadin being ignored? Like, I think he's the biggest example. But, like, it's a hard job that they do. It is. It genuinely is. It's not the balances team fault that they keep releasing new champions that are a little bit broken. That's not on the balance team, and it's their job to try and balance this kind of broken kit that new champs have. So they have a hard job, and to balance 150 odd champions with all the items in the game, yeah, good luck. Whoever you are, you're probably not going to do it perfectly. And the thing with League, because there's so many players and people play so many games, all it takes is one or two things to be broken per patch, and it blows into a massive problem. So yeah, maybe the community needs to, like, respect that a bit more, including myself. But yeah, so there you go. Next up is, do I think there should be a vote during the pick stage to dodge? I mean, there's arguments for yes and no. The arguments for yes is that if you think it's an absolute no point game, what's the point in playing? But this type of thing would literally kill off-meta players. Now, there aren't, I'd say, too many pure off-meta players anymore, because League is a lot more diverse in general nowadays, and more forgiving nowadays to, you know, set support. If you, years ago, decided to play a top laner as a support, you would be reported by everybody in the lobby. Now it's become a much more common thing. But let's say you are, like, genuinely, to this day, an off-meta player. Yeah, you're just going to have your games dodged all the time. So it would literally kill off that type of player. And, you know, should it be killed off? I'm not probably, because some people enjoy that. And if they're not trolling, they are trying to win, they've got a positive win rate, then there you go. Probably not. But I know Riot are doing things, by the way, including within Champion Select, that are going to make the experience better overall for everybody. That if, like, there's a Champion Select's hostage with the report system and it detects it, the game may dodge on your behalf and that person will just be reported. So that stuff is potentially coming, but yeah. If I had the chance, would I consider joining an LEC team as a player or staff member? Well, firstly, never as a player. I'm not good enough to be a player in a pro league. A staff member, the only thing staff-wise that I would ever consider would be under a content creator. I have been in talks over the last couple of years. Obviously, if you guys are newer to the channel, several years ago, I used to be in a professional organisation called Team Dignitas. Some of you may recognise it. Yeah, I was a streamer, content creator for them. I'd probably do that again. I have been in talks, you know, in the last couple of years, even with doing that, but they, you know, there's a lot of loopholes and contracts that you have to kind of go with, and money talk, so it's more complicated than just signing. But it is something that I'd like to do. It is something that I will be looking to do. But obviously 2020 has been a very weird year for everybody, so I don't imagine organizations have been incredibly like, let's sign a content creator and pay the money, when it's been more about like survival mode for everybody really in the world, right? So yeah, I'd probably join an LEC team, but we'll see. Not the easiest thing to do, obviously. Next up is, and we'll go off Discord and we'll move on to the other platforms after this. Do you think if they rework Annie, they should make her an adult, and a lore reason for her new spells and skills would be a whole new character? Would be very interesting. I've always thought that they have missed an opportunity to kind of make an ultimate or legendary skin of Annie. Like as an adult, but I believe the story of Annie, and again, I'm not very good with the lore, but she's obviously very powerful as a kid, as a mage as a kid, and I'm pretty sure like it's always like, you know, she's going to be insanely powerful as an adult, and like this insane firepower that when she like fully knows her power. It would be cool if, yeah, they did rework Annie to be an adult, but I never know if they're going to like completely do things like that. All the reworks have fundamentally kept the champion, you know, not the same kit-wise, but the same thing. So like Aatrox was a demon sword guy. He's still a demon sword guy, looks vaguely the same. Scion, Gangplank, you know, they're kind of always the same-ish character. Yeah, and I doubt they would release a alternate version of Annie as a separate champion, being the adult version. So I think it would be cool, but I don't think they would probably do that. But, you know, you never know. And I do think it would be an absolute fantastic idea. All right, next up is what's my computer specs? So my current PC, which I will say I will be upgrading in the new year. My current PC is an Intel i9 9900K, an RTX 2080 Ti graphics card, 32 gig of RAM. I guess those are the main components people care about. You know, I think a 750 watt power supply, like gold, whatever the hell. I don't know specifically what motherboard. I think it's some MSI gigabit something or other. But it's a very good PC. But yes, I am going to be upgrading in the new year. Obviously, Nvidia has announced the 3000 series, and I will be going for the 3090. It's very overkill, and people go, really? Do you need that? And people always say, you don't need that for League. And that's always the biggest thing that I have to respond with. It happened literally when I got this PC a couple years ago now. With the 2080 Ti, people go, that's way too overkill for League. And the easy reply is, funny that I don't just play League. Like, I really don't. I'm a video gamer. It's my main hobby. So yeah, when I'm not playing League, I am playing the AAA amazing graphics story games that come out on PC, or Call of Duty that's quite draining, or Microsoft Flight Simulator that's ridiculously graphically intense. So I do need a powerful PC. And also, not just for League, I'm a content creator. I'm streaming and recording while playing games. So yeah, I do need a very powerful PC. And yes, it's very expensive to do so, but luckily, obviously, as somebody that is self-employed and all that, you can obviously put it to your tax bill. So the sting of paying for said thing isn't as bad down the line. But yeah, like, it will be something that I'll be upgrading. And then, as we always get, what am I going to do about this PC? Because I think, especially young people think like, oh, he could give it to me. No, like, I never am going to give technology away. That's just something very easy to say. I've said that many times. I like keeping spares. You know, this, if you guys remember, if you've been here, the original 2080 Ti graphics card in this PC blew up literally a couple of days before Twitch Rivals, like a year ago. And I had to get my old 1080 graphics card from my old PC and put it in this one just to make it usable. And if I sold that PC or gave that PC away or gave it to a friend, well, then suddenly I would have been very screwed. So as a content creator, especially, it's responsible to keep old technology, keep it, you know, nice and pristine just in case. And obviously with moving out again in the early new year, my office will have, and it did have when I moved out, 2 different setups. This PC will become the second setup PC, and it'll be fantastic for whoever's using that to game on or whatever. So yeah, like that I will be upgrading, but those were my current specs, but I'll be upgrading in the new year. And I know obviously the cards and that are coming out within this month, I think. I'm not in a rush to upgrade right now. I'm going to wait until maybe January, maybe even until I've moved out again, until I decide to upgrade. But yeah, so it will be happening. Next up is well, odd question. What non-starter Pokemon would I choose to start my journey with? No legendaries and region of my choice. So yeah, feel free to answer this one as well. So you're no starters, no legendaries. What Pokemon would you actually pick as your adventure? Because obviously, if you look at the cartoon, very few people actually started with Charmander, Squirtle, or whatever, but any generation. It's rare, weirdly, even though they should be very common. So if I were to start my adventure with it, and presume, by the way, Pikachu is under a starter Pokemon because he's from Pokemon Yellow as a starter. I presume Eevee is also off limits because that's technically a starter in some of the games as well. I would probably go for either a Larvitar, which would obviously go into a Tyranitar eventually, or Growlithe would be tempting because Arcanine is the best, or like, you know, but under Charizard obviously, but pretty good. Yeah, one of those. I'd probably say Larvitar, probably. Most likely my favorite Gen 2 Pokemon. I like Flygon as well, but I don't know if I'd have that as a starter. Oh, Dratini for a Dragonite as well. Stuff like that, you know, one of those. One of the ones that I mentioned. Right, then we'll quickly check very, very quickly. Sorry, dry throat. Oh, God. Last question, or last couple, is... what are my opinions on the races, especially the Tuscan Grand Prix? Poor Verstappen. So your F1 question. I'm an F1 fanatic. If you guys didn't know, you probably do by now. Interesting races. Very crazy, the Tuscan Grand Prix, with crazy crashes. And it's very weird that with 2 weeks in a row, red flags have happened and cars have had to start in the pit lane and wait there for like 15 minutes. Very weird. It's been a weird season in Formula 1, like it has been probably for a lot of sports with the world's condition at the moment. But I've been enjoying it. You know, I am a Mercedes fan, so obviously I'm enjoying that Lewis is doing well. But I'm also a McLaren fan, and they've been obviously getting good performance here or there in some races. You know, what I would say as a Formula 1 fan, I like... And I do think Lewis does deserve the accolades, and, you know, a lot of people complain about it, but when Michael Schumacher was winning everything, people complained about it then too. It's just the way of Formula 1. But what I will say is, I am looking forward to the new regs now in 2022. I think that's going to do a lot for the sport, and I think it's going to make it maybe a bit more interesting. And I love Formula 1, but I do think it'll make it more interesting as well, which is a good thing. But yeah, the races have been pretty spicy, is what I would say. Last question for the Q&A. Is actually, let's do 2 more questions. What would I say the essential equipment to start streaming and / recording content? Well, obviously a decent internet connection and a decent PC are kind of a must. If you're not going to really record, upload at 1080p from the beginning, then I would say you should really try, because the reason for it is everybody's going to be uploading in 1080p minimum nowadays. So if you're starting out at less quality than that, then you're putting yourself already at a even quality disadvantage. And, you know, sound. But I wouldn't say, you know, you don't have to invest in crazy technology before you even begin your stream. That's obviously a high risk, and it's very competitive. Just do it for fun, obviously. Just use your headset mic and see where it goes. If it goes well and you make a bit of money, then yeah, invest a bit more into the content. Buy a microphone, buy a mixer, and stuff like that. But internet and PC... decent audio quality is probably the start, pretty much. Last question, though, is what do I think about LoL in the future? So, yeah, what do I think is going to happen to League moving forward? Well, I hope it's going to go well. You know, I do still like the game. I'm obviously quite reliant on the game doing well being my job, and if the game starts to do bad and people quit the game and watch less content, well, that affects me. So I do hope it does well. I think Riot, they have to do stuff. They can't be complacent like they have been over the last few years, especially when it comes to toxicity. You know, this year I think they've, for some reason, realized that people have had enough with toxicity, and not just like verbal toxicity. It's inting and feeding and running it down, and soft inting that the people are trying to ruin games but make it less obvious. People are really fed up. Like, I know so many people that have stopped playing League because of those reasons. You know, we said earlier, the Flex with Friends group. Yeah, you know, they're adults and it's harder to organize, but they don't really play League anymore because they just don't enjoy the toxicity nature behind it. So maybe they really need to kick their butt into overdrive and realize it's an issue, a big issue. But I think League will be around for a long time. You know, it's basically, I think League has become too big for it to just die. Like World of Warcraft, really. And obviously, the World of Warcraft isn't as big as it used to be, but it's still the prominent MMO here in the West. And the only thing that's going to kill World of Warcraft, the only thing that's going to kill League of Legends are themselves. If Blizzard decides to shut down WoW to make WoW 2, or if League of Legends decides we're going to pivot into a different MOBA, it's never going to happen most likely, because they're the cash cows for these companies, for Blizzard and now Riot. It's the main game. So I don't think these games are going to go anywhere. Maybe they'll dip, maybe they'll go up. But obviously it does need especially some work from Riot to really help the game. You know, listen to the feedback, listen to the community, and do as well as they can. So yeah. Anyway, that's going to be it. If you guys did enjoy, do throw a like on the video. Thanks so much for supporting what I do. It does mean a lot. If you've got any more questions or you just want a conversation, please do comment down below, as I will be in the comments. Anyway, see you guys next time. Like, comment, subscribe. See ya. Peace.